show you a video here. Got the drone's ready. I'm going to get the drone up over the Pontins site in Southport, well, Ainsdale, Southport. Just give you an update on what's been happening here. There's a lot kind of going on in this area at the moment. We've got Toad Hall, which is behind the trees down there. I'll show you that. That's been a subject of a lot of money's been spent on it, but I'll let you know about it a little bit later in the video. And we've also got down the other end of the road the Sands Hotel that's been empty since 2018, and it's been up for lease for the last 4 years by the council, but it's had no investment in it. Like, no one's going to buy a pub and take on a pub that needs so much work doing to it. It's sat there for 8 years. Like, the council seem adamant. They keep announcing that someone's going to move in there, but yeah, not at the moment. Anyhow, we're outside the Pontins site. Like I said, there's been a lot of rumours and stuff. There's been a lot of stories circulating lately, rumours of immigrants in here and people living here. Like, it's not the case. These are, I can honestly say, these are just old videos that are just resurfacing of people trying to get views and just scaremongering. Like, the videos don't even look the same. If you notice on some of the videos, you'll see like metal fencing around these coloured fences down here that show they're not here. They're not here anymore. But now I'm going to get you a camera over here, have a look, and I'll give you some updates on what's happening. This is basically like an overview from the road that links all these 3 sites together. This is the Pontins site, and they're going to take you down to where the Toad Hall site is, just so you've got an overview if you're not familiar with the location. You can see the sand lizard. It was painted on the side of Toad Hall as well. Just there, shining in the sunlight. And then if you look over the Pontins site, if you're not familiar with it, it always reminds me a bit like of a American maximum security prison, ironically, in the layout of it. This sort of hexagon shape with all the chalets were like linked together. There's all the entertainment on like the bottom left hand side. That green bit, very greeny bit in the middle, it used to be a boating lake. It's got a bit overgrown. It kind of flooded, which was what the owner said led to the site getting shut down because they couldn't deal with the flooding. But anyhow, it's quite overgrown. As you can see as well now, looking at some of the chalets there, looking okay condition, like they're almost like half maintained. But if you notice on these close-ups now, you can actually see inside some of the chalets, you can see the beds eerily just sitting there. Got some better pictures coming up a bit later on the video, we can see really close in. But there's certainly nobody living here. There's no people about. This is the kids area here, like adventure sort of playground, sort of go-kart area. There's a dinosaur area on the top left. And that's the entertainment and food halls on the top right of the picture now as you look at it. This takes you out to where the entrance to the park would be, but like I say, with the exception of a couple of security guards, it's eerily quiet on here. And this is the road that would have taken you round if you were driving out towards where your chalet was. Just follow this round and then you'd find some parking outside it, hopefully. I imagine some people got lost trying to find the chalet because they all just look so similar, with the exception of the odd colours. And if you can see into this one here now, like all the lawns are maintained, so it's still being like looked after. A lot of seagulls and birds I noted when I was flying over here as well, which reminds me of how quiet it was. They've almost like, I'm not saying they've taken over, but there's certainly the more of the residents here than the actual humans, let's put it that way. Because they were flying about, they weren't too keen on the drone going over them. I'll just get you in a close-up in a second, get a close-up at one of these chalets and just have a little look and see what we can see. Let's get the camera down a little bit, be able to see if you can see that set, that one, the one on the top right. It's 2 rooms, it is a living area and then a bed area. You see it's mirrored below as well. You can see the beds are just sitting there almost waiting for somebody to move in, or as it was left when it suddenly shut down at the beginning of 2024, so 2.5 years ago. I can see a few bits where like gutters and sort of boards and bits have maybe fallen off, but it still looks pretty much intact. There's a good shot there of seeing like into the beds, just seeing like, you know, they're just left as they were when it finally closed. The question is, what is the future for Pontins? Clearly, it's not being used for housing illegal immigrants. These are just rumours that have been stirred up on social media, etc. It is being used by the police for dog training and exercises at the moment. And then Britannia, which own it and have a 150-year lease on the site, which is the kind of stranglehold, I guess, on the future of developing it, as they've got the lease plan, which I do think makes sense, to demolish the chalets and replace them with more modern accommodation.
They haven't given any further details on this. Maybe it could be similar to maybe like a haven type park. I'm only guessing as what it may be, but I think the chalets have probably had their day. As fond as memories as they might be for some people, I think that a bit of a more modern look is probably needed of the site, but that is the plans at the moment, and nothing else has been disclosed at this current point. So what is Toad Hall? Toad Hall is actually the majority of the building on the back with majority flat roofing. It was actually like a nightclub in like the 60s, 70s and closing down probably like in the 80s. That's the actual Toad Hall bit. The brick building on the front was part of the original Ainsdale-on-Sea development that was basically boarding houses and flats. People would come and stay here. The idea was it would become more, expand more, I guess, over the years, and there'd be more and more houses put up here. So there'd be like a landlady and you'd come and like stay here for a week or a month, etc. Maybe like even more permanent. So that's the red brick on the front. In 2021, the council decided that the place wasn't looking too good, and he got a grant for I think about £10,000 to pay like a local street artist from Liverpool called Paul Curtis to paint the giant lizard on here. Like really looks really good at the start. Although a lot of it was painted overboard, which as you can see has decayed over time and it hasn't got quite the same look, glimmer and stuff if you like to it. An interesting fact about the Toad Hall site, as we'll call it, is that the council spent about 18 months to 2 years repairing the roof and any old sort of structures around there just to weatherproof it and make it better. That work concluded in October 2023, so literally like 2.5 years ago. Now, I submitted a Freedom of Information request to Sefton Council because I was intrigued to how much the council spent on a building that 2.5 years later they were going to knock down. The answer came back at just over £225,000. What are the long-term plans for the Toad Hall site? A demolition contractor has apparently been approved who will commence the demolition of the buildings on site at a cost of £1.5 million and replace them with a temporary car park. The visitor centre that's planned to be built on site has a core purpose of serving as an educational and operational hub, celebrating Ainsdale's internationally significant sand dune systems, rare wildlife and seascape. Also, it will house the Green Sefton staff, giving them a permanent modern base to manage the habitats. So Sefton has a plan for Ainsdale, and this area is called like the Ainsdale Gateway, I guess capitalising on more people visiting British destinations, warmer weather, I guess, which we have, capitalising on the beach area. And there's 3 main buildings on the site. Pontins, which is owned by Britannia Hotels, and they have a 150-year lease on it, so they're kind of restricted with what they can and can't do on that site. The Sands Hotel, which is owned by the council, but they're not doing a very good job of leasing it out at the moment. And then the Toad Hall site, which is a bit of a dilapidated building, as it's often said. They also own that site on there. And this 3-point plan is aimed at just making this area better walkways, better traffic flow, and then maybe putting some buildings on here that serve a better purpose, for the future. So this is the Sands Hotel we're looking at here. This was a former pub that closed about 2017, 2018, I think. I know reports say 15, but I remember going in here close to the pandemic. The pub has been closed all this time. It is owned by Sefton Council, but they've been reluctant to spend any money on it. In fact, I would say zero money on it, as its appearance has never changed. It's been up for lease a number of times, most recent being in January of this year. And the council have said they've got people who want to take it on, but I can't see that being the case when there's been no investment in it. Why would you want to take the lease on a building like this that needs a huge amount of work doing it just to make it appeasable for people to want to come and visit here and maybe spend their money there?
Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please leave any thoughts or memories in the comments section, and let's keep the debate going.